Hey viewers, this is your life influencer amitkachalia. This video is about merging three different topics: God or superhumans, is there life after death, and is there any relationship between the choices we make and our future destiny. These three topics I've already taken separately in separate videos, but there is a proper linkage and it's like completing the whole puzzle of how do we live our life. So let me dive into these three topics. This video will be comparatively, obvious in terms of time duration, will be a longer one. So on a safer side, internally whatever be the small topics or wisdom snippets I'm sharing, I'll mention a timestamp in the description of the video, so you can directly jump on to the specific part for better understanding if you want to revise or understand that specific area of the life philosophy. Okay, so let's start with the first topic: God or superhumans. Obviously, first I need to give this disclaimer because all the three topics will have too many misunderstandings or controversies, or may affect the religious sentiments of some sect of people or group of people. So I need to give this disclaimer that the content is presented as my expression of personal opinion and is not intended to offend, disrespect or undermine any individual's deeply held convictions or religious beliefs or sentiments. Readers or viewers are encouraged to approach this material with an open mind, understanding that opinions may differ and that the intention is not to cause harm or offense. That is not my intention, but this is, according to my opinion, the best way of completing your life puzzle. Okay, so should any part still of any part of this content inadvertently cause discomfort or offense, we sincerely apologize for it. I sincerely apologize for it in advance. Okay, so after giving this disclaimer, let's start with the first topic: God or superhumans. And obviously, when I started learning on this, started referring books, some online information and certain religious books and all that, first thing was for me, the difficult aspect was challenging my age-old belief system. And it's not that easy, but yes, I challenged it with an open-mindedness. Then only I was able to complete the puzzle of life. So first thing, so obviously, are there gods or superhumans? So you need to understand that almost every religion has some entity or personality as God or some form of commandments to pursue some form of enlightenment or liberation, like you do good deeds, bad deeds, and after life you go to heaven, hell, Jannah, Jahannam, Swarg, Narg, and so on. There has to be some method through which you communicate to that super entity called as God, and you reach your destination of hell, heaven and all that. Okay, so like if I take religion wise, these are examples. Like in Hindu there are so many gods like Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh and many others to follow. In Islam there is Allah. Sikhs there is Vaheguru. In Christianity there is God and Jesus Christ called as God man. Okay, so are they God or superhumans? That is what my challenge was when I entered into this field of learning. Okay, so first thing, creation of God or creation of humans by God? That's a very basic question when I asked. So let me share my understanding about this. God is a personality or a concept created by us as humans. God haven't created humans, but we did create God. Okay, as a concept, as a personality. So God didn't create us. This is again my understanding, but we did create or give birth to concept called as God. Okay, second, a person emitting and vibrating energy at a high frequency than a normal person was given the status of God. Now what do you mean by energy in the very first place, that I will explain, so that it will be more easy for you to correlate with the real life scenarios and with real life people whom we may call it as God, and according to me, those are superhumans. Okay, so obviously let's take a simpler example of a radio. Like a common public, they are, let's say, emitting energy at 90.0 frequency, and there is this super personality or superhuman, which people call it as God. They are vibrating their energies at 98.5 in energy frequency. So obviously for this common people, this is a super personality, which they termed it as God, and it happened across various religions. Okay, so I will this in an example form try to explain. Okay, so let me have a story. There is a small village or a town in a particular country or in this part of the world, okay, where we live. And in that village, there are let's say 10 lakh people living in that particular town or a village, and or a countryside. And in those 10 lakh people, there is one person, okay, who is vibrating his energies. So obviously at 98.5 frequency level, and all other villagers, majority, are vibrating at, let's say, 89 or 90 energy frequency. Now what does this gap mean? So obviously this person is, his logical reasoning is very sound, his understanding about life is very clear, he's in helping to people, his moral values and ethics are again much above par than the common person in those village towns, or common public in the village towns. So what happens is, obviously people are approaching him and their problems and queries are being sorted out by him or her. Again, gender is immaterial. So slowly people started respecting this particular personality. And this respect, when it gets converted into blind faith, and that blind faith gets converted into this super personality called as God, you will never come to know, but it happens in ages, over a period of years and years. Okay, so this is how the first God was created by us. Okay, now why so many gods, that I will explain that later on. Okay, so this is my understanding about how God was given birth by us. Obviously, so why so many gods or superhumans then? Gods for you all, those same people or entities for me are superhumans. So why there is plurals of gods, right? So in every religion, if you see a sect, there are multiple branches. I'm just giving again these as an examples. Okay, one in Muslim, like there is Shia and Sunni. Okay, then in Hindu there is Shiv and Vishnu followers. In Christianity again there are many, but okay, Catholics and Protestants and so on. Now this are broad, and again then there were again multiple sections and dissections happening around in various dilutions in various religions. So how this happened? So let's go back to our old story and let's continue that. So there was this God personality and there are these village people. Now in those village people, there was one personality whose energy frequency was much better than the other disciples or followers. Okay, he or she felt that even I am in a position to take care of group of people and move forward in life. So he went to village B and he started doing these activities in that particular village. Okay, so now he is God number 2. And imagine 10,000 years, 30,000 years. I mean, I don't know what is the starting point of human race. Is again immaterial for me. But that's how. So basically, you will have a new God every 400, 500 years. Okay, so basically that's how the gods are being created. Or maybe after 1,000 years, today a person who is just a personality or super personality, people will be referring him or her as gods. And that's how it has happened. You need to accept it. Now, what do you mean by then energy? Okay, that I will come. So obviously further you need to understand the personality traits of God For me, superhumans. And you, obviously there are some doubts obviously creeping into mind by referring to this part of the video. Obviously there are two other topics and you should get solution to your problems or to your doubts by that time. So first thing, obviously they vibrate energy at a higher frequency. So what do you mean by energy? So obviously that means that their actions, their commitments are much above par than a common man or a common woman. Okay, so they have very high standards of moral values and ethics which they follow, which they preach also. That's one thing. Okay, their actions are much louder, much stronger, much bolder, resulting in, and obviously they are living life for others. So that's the reason why people started referring them as God. Then obviously third and most important is they have a very strong influence over the masses and public. And that's how God got created. Okay. Now, obviously obviously when I was learning this, so then the doubt came, do these superhumans have some extraordinary, some superpowers? Okay, so let me try to attempt to give the solution to that also. Yes, no doubt their energy level vibrates at extraordinary frequency. But they do not have any extraordinary powers. See, Supermans or Spider-Man, they are good for comic or movies. They are movie heroes. But in real life, there is no such personality having some superpowers. You need to accept this fact and give a reality check while you are believing on something or someone. Okay. Their aura is very strong and pure. You need to keep this in mind. Their aura is very strong and pure to influence the masses, and this gets reflected to public as extraordinary power. Okay, that's how people felt like this is not a superhuman, this is God, and that's how it has happened. Okay. So obviously the next doubt will be, am I amitkachalia as life influencer atheist? That is, am I in Hindi called as Nastik? So let me attempt that understanding for you also. So obviously I have challenged my age-old belief system, which is not easy when obviously it was a challenge for me in the very first place. Second is that I look at God as superhumans and work on myself to be like them. Just for your information, I need to be candid. Whether it be my home or office, I do have some deities which are superhumans, and I do reflect. When I look at them, I ask them, or I expect that I get energies of that level, so that I have those personality traits inculcated in me by trying to follow them. I see they won't help me in any way or any format, because they are superhumans. They are humans, but with supernatural personality. They are having that super personality, which we termed it as gods. Okay, but when I look at them, when I'm keeping vision in front of them, what I want is, or what I'm trying to develop for myself or inculcate in myself is, why not develop those see, currently I am a normal human being, but I would want to be a superhuman in terms of personality traits, and that's where my focus is and that is all about then self-discipline at the end of the day. How much disciplined I am in terms of trying to adapt to those super personalities or their personal traits. So it's a very, so am I atheist? It's all your call to take on me. Okay. And obviously then the question comes, so if is there then life after death? So now you are very clear. According to me, I've tried to make you clear that there are no gods. They are superhumans. Okay. Obviously there are doubts then who created this world and all that. I may take it as a separate video later on. But yes, immediately then because in my start only I mentioned heaven, hell and all that. So let me try to attempt this part of doubt, that is there life after death? So I need to be very clear, there is no such thing as life after death. So there is no such thing as heaven, hell, swarg, narg, jannat, jahannam, or any other nomenclatures you want to use for life after death. There is no such thing. But then why it was created? It is created by us. Because people believing in it are conveniently trying to postpone the taking of responsibility of their past and present actions and deeds. A very simple way of explaining with an example is, if I have committed some crime, I will, instead of going into any guilt for that crime or self-deprivation, what I will say, okay, if I have done some past bad deeds, or my current past deeds are bad or not according to the moral ethical values of the civilized society, okay, I will go in hell. So today I am not taking the onus or burden of responsibility. Let that be taken care of on this concept called as life after death, which is a mirage, which is vague. It is not a reality. What is reality is this life we are living as human beings. That's the only reality. Okay, so this is a very shortcut way of postponing or not taking the burden of responsibility of our past or current actions which we have taken, which may be wrong for others. Okay, so again, this is my personal opinion about is there life after death. But if you try to now jot the dots, gods, no superhumans. So whatever actions we take, we get reaction in this life, because there is no reaction to be taken care of in life after death. So if you are committing crime, if you are committing good deeds, bad deeds, again this good and bad as two sides of the same coin. So this you will get action and reaction either in immediate form or in a later stage of your life. There is no such thing as noting of your accounting or balance sheet and you will get the final total tallied after death. That is not going to happen. It's a shortcut way of doing that, because we don't want to take responsibility of our own actions of this life. Okay, so hope this part is also clear from my end to you all. Then obviously comes, how do we then control our life? So is there any relationship between choices and our destiny? So first thing we need to understand is, what do you mean by destiny? So whatever circumstances and situations are coming in front of us as human beings, you can term it as your destiny. Current destiny and future destiny. So you can control future destiny. Like today, if you are referring this video, I can't change your past, but you will be given control through this video of learning that you can control your destiny. How so? So again, first thing, obviously destiny is depending upon two factors: outcome of our choices, controllable choices, because we can control our choices, and some uncontrollable factors called as beta factor. Okay, so you want to travel, you for some office reason or maybe personal reason, you too booked a flight got cancelled. That's an uncontrollable event. Okay, so there will be, so destiny is molded over a period of time in the form of what choices you are making, which you can control. So you can technically to a larger extent control your destiny. But there are some factors which we call it as collective choices. Okay, like if a country bombards another country, and the people dying in another country, it's a collective destiny because of some collective choices made by a group of people or leaders or politicians, which you can't control. So there are some factors which we can't control, but keeping those factors aside, you can control your destiny based on your choices which you make in your life and summation of that. So what do you mean by then choices? What are decisions and actions you are taking, including sometimes inactions, is what will frame or mold your future destiny. So there is a direct kind of correlation between choices you make in your life and how your destiny will be in your future. Okay. To summarize it, I'll make it. So choices, if I continue the choices part. Choices we make are controllable. So either you panic or you invest more in the falling markets of shares of share market. It's your call. Getting into depression or developing more skills is your choice. Consuming junk food or taking healthy diet is your choice. Now let's say you are required to take your family, or let's say some relatives have come to your home and you want to take them to some outing dinner. You have a choice of, you may in that restaurant also have some food which is lighter to your health, and still it's an outing for all others. That's a choice you can consciously make. But all the food in the restaurant was stale and everybody suffered from food poisoning. That's a uncontrollable event, which in mathematical terms we call it as beta factor. But if let's say somebody ate which is very spicy and you ate lighter on your health, again it is benefiting your health. Now this way, this is a restaurant example, you apply this logic across your life. Whether it be traveling, taking decisions of your family, taking decisions about your finance, taking decisions about your thinking, taking decisions about who should be your friend, taking decisions about marriage, taking decisions about your office, your work, and so on. If you start applying this logic part of choice, which are controllable, subject to the beta factor, you are in a position to control your destiny to a larger extent, but not 100% because of that uncontrollable factor. So I'm just giving a formula then. The sum total of our choices subject to those external uncontrollable factors will create your future destiny. Now in this, you tell me, has any god or superhuman role to play in framing your destiny or controlling your destiny? No, that is not the case at all. But this requires consistency, discipline, and persistence. You won't see results in hours or days. It will take years for you to see the result in front of you of how you are shaping your destiny, and you'll be happy once you understand these three concepts: God or superhumans, is there life after death, and choices and destiny relationship. These are all interlinked to each other. So basically what I mean is, we are the masters of our future destiny to a larger extent. That caveat needs to be mentioned. So life is equal to sum total of our choices in each and every moment. Choices, when I say choice, obviously ultimately is assumed that you're acting on it also. So you plan it out but you don't execute that plan, it's not a choice. Choice which is properly implemented from your end, subject to the beta factor. That's it. It's as simple as that. So this is the way you can look at your life and try to take charge of your life in your own hands and be a full-fledged human being and serve the society at large and become a superhuman yourself. Okay, hope you liked it. If you still have any questions, you can get back to me on my comment section of the video. These are my personal contact details, and hope you like this. Thank you so much.